7 turn right, heading 185, reduce speed 180 knots.
185 on the heading, 180 on the seatbelt there, 007.
Speedbird 124, reduce speed 160 knots to 40 me.
Reduce 160 to 4, speed 124.
Hi there guys, Matt here, hope you're all well and welcome back to another X-Plane 11 video. The last time I did an X-Plane video was actually just before I did, before I took my little hiatus, when I took a break to fix myself and everything around me. It's been a long time coming and a lot has changed for, maybe not you if you're an X-Plane user and a long time X-Plane user, but definitely for me as someone that used it in parallel with P3D, you kind of miss out on the intricacies of updating it regularly. But I figured that the reason, it's always difficult to make an X-Plane video when you are predominantly known for doing P3D content. And I guess if, on the flip side, if you were someone that was known for doing X-Plane and you did P3D content, you probably face the same scrutinization. Is that a word? Scrutinization? Scrutinization? Googling. Scrutiny. Let's say scrutiny. Just because of the split. There's a weird split. There always has been. There's X-Plane fanboys, there's P3D fanboys, and then in the middle, there's a group of people, and I class myself in this group, where they don't care. Sim's a sim. You want to fly a plane, you fly a plane. But there always seems to be this flame war between both of the, both sides, if you will. Never understood it, never will. And actually, last night I was in bed and I was watching back some of my old videos, and more specifically one of my old vlogs, where I said, look, the community is already small enough and we're already arguing like what's going on. And it's still true to this day. There's nothing I can do to fix it. It's just a case of letting people be people. And when eventually there's nothing left, maybe they'll look back and they'll be very sad. Anyway. A lot of people saying, especially people that are in P3D, are saying that they are bothered about moving to X-Plane because of financial reasons, and I completely understand that. Not everybody is made of money, and not everybody wants to invest in a sim when they already are investing in another sim when they're already investing in one in the first place. To which I will counter that and say everything you are looking at here, by bar 2 or 3, the base game, the ground handling, which is these stairs, and the weather, and of course the airport scenery, is free. The aircraft being normally the thing that takes the biggest chunk of change out of your pocket. This is a Zibo, the Zibo 737-800, and this is from a group of extremely talented people that have got their heads together and decided that they will take the default 737 that X-Plane ships with, and they would gut it out completely and make a, what's the best way of describing this, a more true-to-life version with all of the relevant systems and stuff like that. As I said, it's free, and it's bloody fantastic. The airport, we're here at Birmingham, and this is UK 2000 Birmingham. I'll be honest with you, UK 2000, I like. I think they produce great scenery, but looking at this, these sort of textures here kind of makes me sad. Because, I see the sort of stuff that FS Dream Team do in P3D, and UK 2000, by the way, is predominantly an ESP engine scenery developer. They made scenery for FSX back in the day, and FS 2004 and beyond. And now they're bringing their stuff into P3D and also into X-Plane. I think they just need to ramp up the textures a little bit. We're living in 2018, and PCs can definitely handle a lot more. And so stuff like this is a little bit disappointing, but I digress. But the reason for the video is I just wanted to show you what is possible with X-Plane. From a kind of completely neutral point of view. I don't have any favoritism towards either P3D or X-Plane. And maybe by the end of it, hopefully you will too. There are definitely some quirks, but there are also some quirks in P3D, like it's 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. So if you're on the fence, then maybe this will persuade you. If it doesn't, then whatever. I enjoyed flying it and making the video. Let me start off by saying, 5 minutes into the video, thank you very much for all of the support on last week's videos. Really do appreciate it. There was a ton of people commenting and liking and subscribing and all of that good stuff. It didn't go unnoticed, and of course this is now the reason for the continuation in videos. I lead a relatively busy life, so making videos every day is not something I can do. But you seem to be okay with these two-parters, which makes my life super easy. So as long as you're good with that, then we'll keep doing it that way. It just means that I can record a reasonably long flight. It's funny because actually today's is not long at all, but still the concept is the same. It means I can record the takeoff and the landing in two separate parts, which again makes my life easier. So thank you very much, and also the words of support and just niceties in general. I do appreciate them. Okay, so on to what we're actually doing today. We're going to fly this from here on the ground in Birmingham over to Dublin. A very, very short flight. And there's a reason for it. I am now running, and I really hope that I've never run this before, but I'm pretty sure I haven't, considering when I got this was in my little break, and I've not really shown it off on here. I have on stream, but definitely not on YouTube. And that is Ortho. And actually, while I just remember, and I'm talking to you about it, let me just kickstart my weather engine. Ortho is basically takes the imagery from the various map sources. Let me zoom out as I'm doing this, and then puts it using a tool into the sim. So right now, this is Birmingham, and if you look around, you can see that the ground is incredibly photorealistic. And the reason is because I'm running 40 terabytes worth of scenery. The best part about it is, apart from the data or the hard drive capacity that you have to buy, the actual scenery itself is free. It just takes a lot of time to create. And I have some really awesome people in the community that have sent me all of Europe and also all of the USA. So any further X-Plane content from this point forward will have this scenery on the ground. If you see someone in the comments asking what the hell this is, I would really appreciate it if you just said, yeah, it's Ortho, because I'll probably mention it a few times and then never again, and then people will still be asking questions, you know, years down the line. I have noticed, by the way, that a lot of people are answering people's questions before I get to them, which is super helpful to me because spending all my time repeating myself is not something I enjoy doing. But yeah, anyway, this is Ortho, and this is good for all of Europe and also all of America. I actually think I have some for Australia and also New Zealand as well. Don't quote me on that, but I think if I do have New Zealand stuff, then I definitely want to go and visit Queenstown in X-Plane. I think that would be pretty cool. But yeah, this is one of the new additions to my X-Plane, and it is fantastic. It works as photo scenery, and then using something called, I think it's World 2XP or something. That's how you get the 3D buildings, and as you can tell, my performance is fantastic, because X-Plane just is generally better with performance. And it's also got some cool landmarks and stuff like that. But it just transforms X-Plane, for me at least, into something that is way more immersive. And along with things like the Zibo and some good weather, which should be loaded right now. Yes, it is. It's really pleasant. I'm thoroughly enjoying my time in X-Plane. There's some really good aircraft out for it now as well, which is things like the Flight Factor A320 and the IXCG 737, which you've seen on my channel before. And although it's not complete, it is definitely worth people's time and investment. So let's zoom back into the flight deck. I have nothing planned as far as PFPX or flight planning or anything like that. So the first thing I'm going to do is boot up Project Fly. We'll get that on the go. We just I don't know why I'm showing you this because it's really nothing to do with the video. But if you're a user of Project Fly, yesterday we just added an update which allows you to fly contracts for people. And I was looking through these today, and it's just fantastic what people have come up with. I don't know, for example, you could use this if you were going to make some flights for somebody, but most people are using it for the reason of this. If you go to your Project Fly fleet, and at the top, make sure away from base is checked. A lot of people like bringing their aircraft back to base. And so they're doing this through contracts. You can do it via sharing aircraft, that's easy. But the contract system seems to be the way forward. So, for example, Miniwebs will take him. He wants his 787 Golf V-Fan to come back from Hong Kong to Heathrow. And if we click view, if he was actually useful, he would give us a proper briefing and a proper payload, but he's decided not to. But I guess he just wants to position that back to Heathrow for some reason. So if you're on Project Fly and you've seen this little handshake icon, then that's what this is about. And of course, you're more than welcome to create your own contract as well if you need your own aircraft moving back. I don't think I do. I think I'm good, but I will double check when it loads. The joys of having so much data. I may put one of these up for contract. I might stick my Scandinavian on there. I kind of want to fly this back myself from Baltimore. For some reason, I have a Qatar. I think that's somebody else is sharing that with me because, yeah, they are. I was going to say I don't have a Qatar 777 at Amsterdam. But anyway, there you go. You get the point. So, bookings today. We create a new booking. We're going from Birmingham, and we are heading to Dublin, which is EIDW. And we are going to take the, 11:29, so it's 10:29 Zulu. We will take the 11:05, which is Ryanair 665, call sign 917 Zulu from the schedules, which was actually just updated today, so that should be the real stuff. Scheduled IFR, and we are going to find a Ryanair plane. I just need to check what the registration is in this, because I actually have no idea, so let me just have a look. Foxtrot Tango Juliet. Do I have that? I do not. So, I need to add this. So, as aircraft type even, 737-800. And select aircraft Ryanair. Airline, Ryanair. And Echo India, Foxtrot Tango Juliet. Home base is... it probably isn't Birmingham, but for the sake of this video, I'll stick it there. And then I need a screenshot of this Ryanair aircraft. So, I will employ ShareX. A lot of people ask what that is. As soon as we hear the ding noise, it means it's uploaded. So we can save that. I fixed the issue with it being blocked now as an administrative problem. So, that's that. And then we can upload that to Project Fly like so. And add the aircraft. Now all we need to do is select said aircraft. And we'll use... Actually, you know what? I can't be bothered with VATSIM today. We'll just go offline. All right, book and dispatch. And actually, what I'll do is go back to the bookings list so I can just get the flight number and the call sign. And then we will hop over to our trusty, or not so trusty friends at PFPX. The first thing I need to do is aircraft database. Let me just check I've got it in the system, which I do. So we can go to flight, and we can go to FR, which is Ryanair, and then 665 917 Zulu, and we're going from Birmingham to Dublin. Random payload, and find destination alternates, which there isn't really much you can do in Birmingham. In Dublin. It's, I would imagine, Cork or Shannon, but of course PFPX doesn't know that, so it will give you that. Trent departure, which then takes us out to, where's this going? See, this is what I mean about PFPX. This is exceptionally triggering, because this is not true at all. The routing is terrible. So I need to go and find a different route, and there are various ways you can do that, but I use the real-world flight plan database. I'll leave a link to it underneath the video description. But the best way to do this is to go Trent and then like this. There you go. And then into Dublin, depending on the runway, they say it's runway 28, then we can use the Bagsaw arrival. So we just click on edit, and then we grab the, they're all RNAVs, so I don't know what the difference between one X-ray and one Lima is. I'm sure the Dublin controllers know more than me when it comes to stuff like that. I'll take the quickest one, so I'll take the one X-ray and apply that. Compute. There's a warning. This Mora crap error that I don't really understand. Maybe if someone knows what that's all about. Sometimes I do get that Mora error, or Mara, or Mike Oscar Romeo Alpha. I tend to ignore it. I've actually no idea what it means. So anyway, we've got the route, we've got the flight plan, everything is good there. So all we need to do is plug it into Project Fly. So I just need to get the actual route, which is there. Press dispatch, paste the route. There it is, dispatch. Fly now. And then we go on the radar, and there are 250 people flying on a Friday morning, which is actually very good. So if you are one of those 250 people, thank you very much for using Project Fly. Myself and the entire team appreciate it. We hit a whole an all-new record, or an all-new record. Does that make sense? Yeah, it does. On last weekend, actually, it was like almost 600 people simultaneously flying. It's like its own network. Hint, hint. So we should see ourselves. There we go. We just popped up. Ryanair 917 Zulu, and now everyone knows what video I'm making, so they're expecting it. Birmingham, Dublin, we are good to go. We can get into the aircraft, and we can start our planning. All right, so Zibo has the following. It has this little menu. At the moment, the GPU is connected, and I've got the chocks, and you can see it's got like a little tablet. Whoever made the graphics for this needs to let someone else do it, but at least the functionality is there. The settings is there's quite a lot of settings considering it's a freeware aircraft. They've added quite a lot to it. The audio, which you can probably hear just sort of ticking away in the background, is probably one of the best audio systems I've heard using the FMOD engine, which is what X-Plane allows you to use for your aircraft development. The flight factor one is okay. The IXEG I don't think uses FMOD yet, but considering it doesn't, they've done a really good job with it. But the people that have made the FMOD sounds for this have done a goddamn good job. Again, best sounds I think I've ever heard on any add-on, even you know, Payware P3D or even Payware X-Plane add-ons. So for now, I need to go back. You can, if you want to look through all of these yourself, you can. Like I'm not going to go through everything. We'll be here all day. So I need to go to fuel weight and balance, and I need to set the following. So zero fuel weight today of 59.4. At the moment we are 47.1. So I need to do 47, and then I need to do 12.2 on top of 5.6. So 12.2 on top of 5.6. My math is actually, no. What am I doing? I don't have to add anything up, because all I need to do is click this. Oh, no, you can't set the zero fuel weight that way. Okay, never mind. Let's try it this way. 17.8. 59.2. Well, I wanted 59.3. 17.9. There we go. And fuel is a grand total of 4 tons. It's only Dublin. It's easy. And, of course, someone pulled me up about this on the last video, saying that you always fuel the wings first, center last. That was in the quality wings, and their manager is really awkward. I know that you have to fuel the wings before the center, hence why this is doing it that way. But thanks for the thanks for trying to point it out. I do appreciate that you are only have my best interests at heart. So that's that. I can start doing that. And then we can go on to programming and everything. So the weather here, in fact, if I just grab FS Global Real Weather, the wind is 2806 knots, QNH 1015. That's all I care about for the moment. So we will, not that one, this one, 1015 set there. And let's switch this across, 1015 there. And also switch that across, and 1015. The IRS is already aligned because we're in that like sort of turnaround state, so that's really easy. We can go to FMC, pause in it, and this is just any Boeing. They're all the same. I don't know why people get so confused, but they really do work the same. There is some performance differences in the pages, the performance pages, but by majority, it's easy. Gate 3. We're off to Dublin, EIDW. Flight number is Ryanair, 917 Zulu. Runway 33. And then we can go depart 33, click it again. Trent 4 Delta, which will take us up to the north. And then from Trent, we are heading direct to Wallasey, which is actually just almost where I live. I live in St Helens, which is, I don't know, I mean, in flying terms, probably like two minutes from Wallasey, but driving, it's probably a good hour. All right, so direct Wallasey, and then Lima 10, which is the airway to the most mispronounced waypoint. I'm pretty sure I told you that in the last video. Penil. Lima 70 from there to a place called Bag. So Bravo Alpha Golf Sierra Oscar. And then from there we are... actually, you know what? We'll do that in the cruise. Alright, zero fuel weight is in, 59.3. Our reserves for this flight are Ryanair minimum, whatever they can get away with, which is 1.5 plus nothing. So 1.5. Apparently that's legal. Probably isn't. Ryanair cost index, although if they could get away with it, they'd probably use minus. I think 6 is probably something about right. And the flight level for us today is 240. In PFPX, it actually gives us something useful, which is the top of climb cruise winds, or top of climb winds, which is the cruise winds, which is today 328 at 54 knots. And again, all of this is optional. You don't actually have to put this in. The winds, anyway, you have to put the rest of it in. And the ISO deviation, which is -2. So we'll stick that there. Transition altitude, I know is 6,000 feet, but we'll check the chart later. I'm just going to put this on the legs page. M1 limit, well, the outside air temperature, according to the weather engine, is... where is it? Here we go. 10 degrees. So it's actually borderline anti-ice. But whatever. We are incredibly light, so we could actually clutch this all the way back. Like, we'll use 0 power for this. But you know what? I like the sounds, so... better. Oh my god, what's with the stuttering? Gareth Gates. Better excuse than none is, because I like the sounds, I'm going to actively destroy the engine. Flat 5, 24 CG, and all of this is good. The surface wind, which is here, 280 at 6. The runway slope is 0. Actually, you can't enter that on the Zibo. And the runway heading, we will head over to the charts and have a look, because I've no idea. Alright, so let's have a look at the runway heading. Grab the airport chart. Runway 33 down the bottom. For those of you that don't know where to find the runway heading, is there a way I can highlight stuff on these charts? I don't think I can. You used to be able to, but now you can't draw on them. But if you look here, I hope you can see my mouse, but I'm circling this. You see then 33, and then underneath that small number, that's the runway heading. So while we're on the charts, we'll just have a quick look at the departure chart, which is Trent departure from runway 33. So relatively straightforward. Straight ahead, 327. India Bravo Mike, which is the ILS. A right tail 2DME on the ILS, India Bravo Mike. Right turn, direct Trent, which is the 009 radial inbound. The initial climb is 6,000 feet, which you see here. Wait, is it? I think I'm lying. Oh, no, it is. It's 6,000 feet. Ignore me. It'll say that somewhere else, actually. Am I blind? I mean, if you look here, it's 6,000 feet. Transition altitude is 6,000 feet. These charts sometimes throw me, like, because there is a significant difference between these charts, which I believe to be the Jefferson ones, and then the old ones. Like, I get so confused. But Trent 4 Delta, climb straight ahead to DME 2 IBM, or 830 feet, whichever is later. Turn right to intercept the radial 189 inbound, sorry, 009 outbound then, whatever. Cross DME 23 Trent, at or above 5,000, max 6,000, so that is the top. Okay, easy. Back to the taxi chart, let's just see which way we're going. So we're currently parked on stand 3, which is just off taxiway Yankee. So we're going to go Yankee, then Delta, and we're going to cut that through. crossing taxiway Tango onto Alpha all the way to the end, and if I get bored, we'll go off via Bravo, if not all the way to Alpha. Alright, that's your little briefing done. 327 was the runway heading, which is why we opened that chart program, but whatever. Let's have a look. Acceleration height is, I'm going to go 3,000. I don't know if it's NDAP 1 or 2 or 9, 10, 11, 12. NDAPs are something that are a mystery to me. When I was doing the old 737 Ryanair videos with a guy called Stephen Bell, there was a difference. I can't be bothered to go research it. You either clutch at 1,000 feet to climb power, or you do it at 1,500 and then you climb at 1,500, or accelerate at 1,500, or you accelerate at 3,000. I can't remember which. I couldn't care less. It's flight sim. Alright. IAS mark window on the MCP is V2, which is 144. Runway heading, which is 327. Perfect. And the initial climb is 6,000 feet. Auto brake RTO, left flight director, right flight director, and according to everybody, you leave the auto throttle off until you are on the runway with Ryanair. Every airline seems to do it differently, so if you have seen it done differently elsewhere, then please do not shoot me. I am just flying a plane. In a virtual environment, I might add. Okay, so the ND is basically already set up. We can put data on both sides like this, and then we can put terrain on this side. I'll put weather radar on the other side when I'm ready to go. We can look to the overhead panel. I don't know why the center fuel pumps are on. They need to go off. It's probably braking the motors. Let's have a look. Start from the top. So the IRSs are already aligned. We don't need any lights on. It's daytime. Window heats can come on. Not really going to need them, but whatever. Trim air also needs to come on. They can make coffee and they can watch TV, although Ryanair, IFE, lol. Everything else looks good. Packs are currently on at the moment, and the bleeds and everything are on. We're on ground power. Speaking of which, we can now fire the APU on, like so, and you'll see the EGT start to rise soon. We will set the cruise altitude in the window. Up to 240. Have I missed anything? I don't think so, for once. Oh yeah, apparently the engine start selector goes in the direction of whoever's flying the plane. So today it's me, so I'm going on the left. We can turn on the seatbelts, like so. And now the APU is coming online once I've transferred the generators over, and the Ryanair apparently are hiring American flight attendants, so that's fun. Once this goes blue, we have APU. We can come off ground power. There we go. And that is us now powered by ourselves. How cute. I'll change that across to APU so we can see that everything is good. And now we can do the following. We can shut the door and hear it slam. Easy. We can go here and we can say, okay, we are done with the GPU. We can also say, okay, we are done with the chocks. We can also say to ground handling, drive away all. And then we can go to ground services, better pushback, which is a freeware plugin for X-Plane. And we can pre-plan the pushback. And because it's a dirty hacker, it already knows where I want to go. So I'm just going to press enter.
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you're ready.
Some nice man is going to come and get our plane.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving
and push
up.
us back. And it will appear probably through the building. Yep, there we go. And it's apparently a British Airways tug, which doesn't exist at Birmingham, so that's fun. But what we can do is we can go on the outside and we can watch this thing lift the plane up, because that's fun. And this guy at the back did not get the memo. Oh, he's going now, that's fine. That is very loud. I'm turning that down. This is a Goldhofer. That's a nice name. And the ground service vehicles are currently... I don't know. Can you just not?
All doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Let's watch the awesomeness that is better pushback. Lifting your aircraft into the sky. I don't know, have I ever told this story before about this type of pushback tug? Maybe I have, maybe I haven't. But I'll tell you while it's doing it. Once upon a time, when I was a little pre-pube, I went to Benidorm. And I went with my mother, and I went with my best friend and my sister. This was after my parents separated. And we went on an XL Airways 757 from Manchester. And we were parked on a remote stand, funnily enough. And we were ready to go, no problems. You know, they come to the aircraft. And I felt the aircraft get lifted up, which is fine. Now, let me just carry on this story once I've released the parking brake. And once I've turned the beacon light on. So, that's that. And we will just prep everything for the engine start. And what we'll actually do is we'll watch it push it back. So, tug cab view, here it is. So yeah, this is, go back to my story. So, we are on the stand, the aircraft gets lifted into the sky. Or, into the air. I exaggerate a little bit. And we start to get pushed back. Now, at the time, I was interested in aviation. You know, I'd taken some little like trial lessons with my dad, and you know, so I knew a little bit about flying, but I really didn't understand the pushback mechanisms. Now I do. I really don't understand what the hell happened, but it had to have broke the actual tug mechanism, because we got to about this point on the turn, and the aircraft just went bang. Like, it was like we hit a brick wall. And it went like this, like dropped and went bang. And everyone screamed, and there was like a bunch of like ding dong, like, you know, people trying to ring each other on the PA phones. And yeah, nothing further happened. It was so weird. Maybe I missed some details out, but I was younger. I just remember vaguely that happening. It was very, very strange. So, if you work in the pushback industry and you know what the hell happened, is it a common occurrence? I'd love to know, because I can only assume what's happened is, if we go here, and then we look here, while I set the parking brake, this mechanism here must have snapped or something. But what I don't understand is, like, you're working against gravity at that point in time. The pushback tug is pushing you this way, so all of the force of the wheel is on that part of the tug. So how the hell it fell off the back, I don't know. Or maybe the whole mechanism broke. Anyway, rant over, let's start the engines. So, let me give you a bit of volume so you can hear how awesome these sounds are. We'll disconnect and get hand signals. We'll go to the overhead panel. The packs are already off. APU bleeds on. We, for some reason, do not have decent bleed. Why is that? That's not good. That is not... I wonder if the engines will still start. Let me try and just turn engine 2.
Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time, and have a safe flight.
It still turns. So we'll just assume that there's a small problem. Or maybe I'm reading that wrong. I thought you needed at least 30 psi to start a plane. Or to start an engine. But anyway, you can hear that really nice soft rumble as the CFM 56Bs, I think they are, start to spool up. So N2 is rising, and we are looking for 2.5 N1, so you have to give it a little bit. And first flight of the day, I guess. I don't know if that's modeled, but it might take you a little bit longer than normal. So 1.9, 2, 2.1, 2.2, 3, 4, and fuel in. Now I have a wing view set up, so you can actually listen to it from the outside if you want.
Tampering with, disabling, or destroying smoke detectors in the laboratories may result in a fine.
There we go. So that's the engine started. Well, that's that engine started. And the starter cutouts happen, so we can start engine 1. Why do I feel like my audio is not working properly? That's really bad. Settings, audio config. Engine volume is set to 10. Does it sound good for you? It sounds alright for me. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they changed some stuff. The engine start sounds used to sound way better than this. Although that does sound pretty good, so maybe I'm just being crazy. Alright, so there's 1.9, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Snaps and pull down firmly to start the flow of oxygen. Put the yellow cuff over your nose and mouth. Lift the elastic band over your head and tighten.
See what it sounds like behind the wing. There isn't really much difference, is there? Alright, so that's both engines started, and the ground services have disappeared, so we can do the after start flows and have no concern. So, first things first, generators. Then we can do the probes, we can do the air conditioning, APU can go off, or APU bleed can go off, APU can go off. We can put the engine start selectors to continuous, and the taxi light can go on. We're going to go with flat 5, so 1, 2, 3. They come down far too quick, but that's an X-plane animation issue. That's not anything the Zibo guys can do, because they're just... Well, maybe they can, actually. Maybe they can fix it, I don't know. And then we go for a full flight control check, so left, then right, up, down, and you'll see that my rudders will move left and right. Trim 4.7, which is... yeah, that's about right. And I just brought the flap up by accident. Alright, weather on my side is what we need, and everything is fine there. I'll stick the transponder on, although it's a UK, so you don't technically need to do that. I'm just going to turn this off because it's doing my nut in. And we are ready to taxi. Okay, so parking brake released. And a little bit of power goes a long way. Be this side because my massive head is in the way. And we're gonna taxi down to runway 33. So we're on taxiway Yankee at the moment. We'll turn right this next right, and then we'll taxi via Delta, and then we'll cross taxiway Tango onto Alpha, and then all the way up. Tell you what I didn't do though, which is start the chrono, just so we've got an engine, or a block time even, not an engine time. What am I talking about? Honestly, you'd think I knew what I was talking about. Or what I was doing even. Clearly don't. Alright. So, we are on the straight and narrow. Birmingham, I don't know when it was, but it was definitely within the last year or so, had a runway extension. So now they have, I think, I'm not quite sure why they did it. I'm pretty sure it was probably for the A380. But I remember coming back from Cosford one year. And, wait, was it Cosford? I can't remember where I came back from. I think it was Cosford, but it wasn't from, like, the event was Cosford, but I was driving back from, like, south of Wolverhampton, because that's where we were staying. And we went down around the bottom of Birmingham Airport along the motorway, which we could actually see on the Ortho, and it was gridlocked, absolutely gridlocked. But I did notice they were doing the runway extension then, so again, another pointless story, but it passes time. Alright, so here's Tango coming up this cross section here. You could even see it on the taxiway signs. And you know what? I'm going crazy. Did anyone notice what I've done? I have been taxiing to the wrong runway. Well, that's interesting. Do you reckon we can make it from Tango? All of that setup, like, I've planned everything for runway 33. And then, all of a sudden, I just end up taxiing through runway 15. I'll tell you why that is. So, about 3 or 4 days ago, I tried to make a video going from here to Lanzarote, and it was departing runway 15. However, the video amounted to nothing because I forgot to start the tracking before I before I got airborne, so I just ditched the whole thing. Well, I'm honestly, I'm going crazy. I'm losing the plot. All right, so we're on runway 33 now, facing the right direction, and that head bob is because I'm using the brakes and the aircraft isn't stopped, which is incredibly annoying, but there you go. So, can we get off in this amount of runway? I reckon we can. So, you know what? It'll make an amazing outtakes video if it goes wrong. So, we'll ding the cabin crew. There we go, use the chime. And the strobe lights are on. I'll hold the brakes while we spool up the engines. Let that do its thing a minute while I come forward. And here is the magical toga switch. Let me just change the MFD to be off so it doesn't distract me. Alright, here we go. Make sure that's in the center. 94% M1. Which we are nowhere near. Good old auto thrust. 80 knots. I reckon we'll do this. There is no other option. Oh damn. If only they'd have extended this side of the runway. V1. Rotate. I'll take that.
Positive brake.
Gear up. Now we're incredibly light, so rotating it would have just like floated off the ground.
400.
That was a very quick rotation though. Borderline probably losing job. Alright, so let's go with LNAV and VNAV because everything is programmed in.
1,000.
It's 1,000 feet as enunciated by our American first officer. We have a look outside the window and you'll see all of the Ortho scenery doing its thing. It looks absolutely phenomenal. In fact, it looks so phenomenal, I'm going to put the autopilot in because that's what I do best. And I'll reset this to flight level 240 because there's no ATC or anything like that. And then I'll clear all the altitude restrictions in between and we will head on right up. I can't believe I did that. I'm actually mad at myself. Happens to the best of us, alright? This is why I'm not a pilot in real life. Because I do stuff like that. Although there would be someone else in the flight deck with me that would tell me, Matt, you probably shouldn't do that. Okay, so now it's accelerating because we passed 3,000 feet. There's that motorway I was talking about. Just check the flat retraction speeds. Okay, so we can now go to flat 1. Even the flap sounds nice. To be honest, we can bring all the flaps in now because by the time it transitions to 1, then it's good to go up. There we go. Perfect. If you've ever flown on Ryanair out of Dublin, sorry, out of Birmingham, let me know. Does it look like that out the window? Sync the heading. We'll set standard now. Once, twice, 3 times. Start switches to auto. Taxi and turn off lights off. And we'll ditch the landing lights too. And there we go. It does look spectacular. Like, me being a pleb aside, the scenery, the Ortho scenery is just superb, absolutely superb. I'm trying to get like a good, you know, I know people hate the window, like the view switching all the time, but I can never find the perfect wing view. I try so hard and I just can't get it. Like, the way you should do it is to line up with the windows, but it still doesn't look right. And I don't know if that's, like, bad modeling or just me being an idiot. But there we go. We're suddenly, or we're soon to go through the cloud, and then we won't be able to see the ortho, so... The last little bit remains. Here we go. Is this where the cloud clears up and we actually can see everything? Let's go on the other side. Oh yeah, we're in the thick of it there. Oh, we're going to come out the cloud. This is going to be the best part. When you come out the top of the cloud and you just see everything below you. Look at that. Been looking at, I mean, I know Active Sky's coming to X-Plane soon, but X-Enviro just put, I mean, X-Enviro for me is a bag of rice at the moment. I gave them a lot of money for a product that I never use, which kind of pisses me off, but whatever, that seems to be everything in flight sim these days. However, that looks amazing. I digress. In fact, that is a thumbnail right there, I would imagine. Let's see if we can get a screenshot of it. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the seatbelt sign will be switched off shortly.
Will it?
However, for own safety, we recommend that you keep your seatbelt loosely fastened in case of
Anyway, what I was saying is that X-Enviro is just put some previews out of their new sort of, I don't know what they call it, but it's like new atmospheric textures, new cloud textures, new cloud models. And for the first time since the release of X-Enviro, I'm actually kind of hyped for it. I'm hoping it looks better than this. I mean, this is as good as I can get X-Plane clouds at the moment, which is funny because they're actually default clouds. But I've tried every possible add-on going, and I just can't get them to look any good. So I'm hoping that the X-Enviro stuff fixes it. And beyond that, then if they don't, then I'm praying that Active Sky will get it right. Because my P3D at the moment with Active Sky Cloud Art looks the best it's ever looked in my life. So I'm super happy about that, and I'm also super excited about this. But I don't know. I've seen so many screenshots of X-Plane, but when it comes to clouds, they just don't do anything for me at the moment. Still looks okay though. I mean, it looks better than it did in X-Plane 10. I think someone in stream the other day posted a picture of what the clouds used to look like in X-Plane 10, and it's just absolutely atrocious in comparison to now. But that's the way technology moves on. But the next big thing in X-Plane is going to be Vulkan, because everybody thinks that Vulkan's going to fix everything. Like, I've seen on the xplane.org forums people saying, oh, I can't wait for Vulkan, my FPS is going to increase by, you know, 6 million, and they're running on a Pentium 4. Like, what do you say? It's the type of people we have in this community. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that little climb rant. I was kind of hoping we'd turn left soon. We are in 9 miles, but that's going to take a while. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed part 1 of the almost incorrect runway departure from Birmingham. And of course in part 2 we'll be routing onwards to the land of Guinness. I'm actually, for some reason, since surgery, I really like bitter, like Guinness, you know, the bitter drink. I never used to like bitter before surgery. Taste buds changed. So weird. But yeah, we're onward to the land of Guinness, so if you enjoyed this video, please let me know. As always, thanks for the support in the last videos. Every single video has had over 1,500 likes. Wow. Like, that just doesn't happen to me. So, thanks if you're one of those 1,500 people that have hit the thumbs up button. And thank you if you are one of the people that set the new record with Project Fly. Just thanks for being you. There's no point in addressing every single aspect that is good. Just thanks for being a part of this. That's all I really want to say. So until part 2, take care. I never know whether to look here or like down here. I'm used to streaming where I don't really look at the camera. But there's the left turn that we're going to end on. And I'll speak to you in the next one. Ta-ra for now. Damn, that looks good.